Welcome to the Peacemakers podcast. My name is Lindsay Hager, and I am your host, and this show is all about showing up for the Enneagram Type Nines. So if you're tuning in today, I'm just going to guess that you already know that you're an Enneagram 9, or maybe it's just that you've heard of the Enneagram and you have some friends or family members that are trying to type you. Maybe they've said, oh my gosh, you're such a peacemaker, or you're totally a type 9, and you just don't even know what that means. For others of you that are here, you might be here because you're in a relationship with someone that's a people pleaser or a peacemaker. And you just are here to figure out, like, how in the world do I interact with this person that I love? So we will definitely be going in further into just what the Enneagram is. I mean, I'm not going to give you a full history, but I'm going to just kind of give you like a quick overview of what the Enneagram is in the next episode. But just for the purpose of this episode, the Enneagram is this personality typing system that's become super popular in the past couple of years. It certainly did not just get created in the past few years, but it's been around for forever. But if you live in Nashville, like my husband and daughter and I, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it, and you can't really go to a get-together without somebody starting to talk about what their number is, or they're trying to figure out what everyone else's number is. So it's kind of fun. I mean, I actually love it. I've been one of those people my whole life that is just wanted to, I haven't really ever had a sense of who I am as a person. And even as a child, like, I'm the youngest child in my family, and I always just felt like, at no fault of my family's, but I was definitely loved. But I just had this feeling like, I'm just going to be quiet. I'm just going to sit over here in the background and just smile and be the sweet little Lindsay and, just kind of keep to myself. It wasn't that I didn't have thoughts going on in my own head about what I was observing. I just thought it's better if I just keep them to myself. And I felt nervous even to offer that to the world. So that journey of, like I said, as a child and middle school, high school, college, even today, there's always just been this sense of, who am I in a space? What do people think of me? It's definitely played into my self-confidence and just feeling like, because of fear of being rejected. And sometimes I feel like I have something really good to say and something that I want to offer. But there's just this underlying fear that I have that I'm going to lose connection with other people. And so I'm holding myself back and, or muting myself so that I'll keep that connection. The more that we talk about the Enneagram, some of you probably already know, is that each number has their own, or has their basic fear and their basic desire. So for the 9, for the peacemaker, our basic fear is losing connection, and our basic desire is for that union and for that peace. So when I'm living through this lens of not wanting to lose people, then that can become it can become unhealthy very quickly. But then there's the other side that's actually the good part. It's the part that's desires that connection and is living through that in a positive and healthy way. So along with this desire that I've had for a long time to stay connected to others, it's also been a gift for my life. I mean, in high school, I was often the friend that people came to talk to because I was a good listener or I was patient. Oftentimes, I can help others see connections in their lives or patterns that they're living out of that they're not able to see, and help people build those bridges in their lives to either grow as a person or get stronger. And so it's been easy for me to look out of myself and help people help themselves. But it's not been easy to look into myself and actually help myself. And I think that really comes back to not even knowing who I am. I first learned about the Enneagram when I was in my master's program studying counseling. So being someone that enjoyed listening and enjoyed, helping people with their problems, it was just the natural step for me to take. Oh, of course, I'll just go into the counseling field. And that was great. I mean, I love that, and it's still a big part of my heart. But on this podcast and through this avenue of sharing, I'm not here as a counselor. I'm here as me. And I know there's going to be time that I can share resources with Type 9s. But my goal is to show up authentically and show up as myself. And so that's going to be me sharing the good things and the hard things. It's going to be me being very curious and asking questions. So I'm going to have Enneagram coaches on this podcast. I'm going to have counselors that are familiar with the Enneagram. Also, I'm so excited to just interview some of you all. I want to invite Enneagram 9s here to the podcast. I've heard often that we 9s are the ones that are seeking out information, probably in particular on the internet more than anyone else. It's our safety zone to scroll through Instagram or listen to a podcast or watch a YouTube video. We may not be the ones always going to counseling or putting ourselves out there saying, I have a problem. But we definitely are just grasping for this knowledge of ourselves. So when we're grasping for this knowledge of ourselves, it starts to become, or it has started to become obvious to me the more I've learned about the Enneagram, is that the reason I don't know myself is because I've been merging with people throughout my whole life. So I'm with this group of people and I'm acting like them. And then I'm with these people over here that maybe they're doing something that doesn't really align with my values, but I'm acting like them. Maybe they're gossiping or just doing something that's not really me. And I'm like, I'm doing what they do. And so the question has come down for me is, I know who I act like when I'm with you, but who am I when I'm with me? And so this tool of the Enneagram is, it's a starting place for us. And if you're out there and you're an Enneagram 9, then it's something that we can use together to become more self-aware. And as I've been merging with other people throughout my life, I have been, at the same time, I also, there is a sense of me that does know me. There is part of me that knows like, oh, that's going against who I am, or that's going against something inside me is telling me like, oh, that's not really who you are. But what I've been starting to feel and really what's led me to have the courage to start the podcast is that I've just gotten tired of not bringing myself. I've gotten tired of being like a shell of who somewhere deep inside I know that I am. And it's not fair for me to elevate other people above who I am. It's not fair for me to spend my life comparing myself to people and thinking that they are better than me, or that I need to change something about myself so that I can stay in good with people. And really, it's just exhausting to do that, and it's not a good life. And I'm ready to live like Lindsay. I'm ready to bring myself. So this podcast is me showing up. It's me bringing myself to the table, and I'm going to bring I'm going to bring the imperfect parts of myself. I'm going to bring the vulnerability and just strive to be as authentic as I can, because I think that's how I'm going to grow, and I think that's how all of us are going to grow if we can recognize where we are and just bring that person. And it's not easy. It is not easy to do this, but even though it's not easy, it's I'm excited to do this, and I'm ready, and I know that I'm worth doing this for, and so are you, and I hope that you will join me on this journey. All right, wow, so that was the first episode. I made it through, and I guess you made it through too. So I would love it if you would review the podcast. Apparently that's a big deal. So go to iTunes and review if you found any value. Give me a review there on iTunes. And then we already have episodes 2 and 3 ready. So just go right into those and listen and subscribe so you can find out when I have other episodes coming out. You can find me on Instagram at Enneagram 9 Stories, and on Facebook. My Facebook page is The Lindsay Hager, and then I also have a group that's dedicated just to Enneagram Type 9s. Would love to have you there. Just look in the show notes for all of these links. I'll have those down in the show notes. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you more in episode 2.